blessed with a championship prosperity the likes of which we have never seen, cursed by a past riddled with despair. This is Blursed.
Hey, what's up? Hello. Welcome to Blurst, everyone. This is episode 18 question mark. Correct me if
Yes.
I'm wrong, someone. Thank you, 18.
Nice.
Yes. So welcome everybody. I'm joined like always by Hayden and Aaron. How you doing, guys?
Doing pretty well.
I'm real Gucci, real
yeah.
Gucci.
Oh,
Blake,
Thanks for asking.
how are you? You've had a big life milestone this weekend, did you not?
no, it's next weekend.
Oh, I could have sworn you said October 1st.
I know, but today it was a huge milestone. The Falcons did win at home.
Ayo.
And it was the first time in Arthur Smith's career to have back-to-back wins as a Falcons head coach.
Whoa, that's not a stat you'll want.
You don't like that. But it happened. So there we are. So yeah, huge milestone in that way. And yeah, what Aaron's alluding to is I get married next weekend. So I will not be on the pod next weekend. We may have a guest host, but if not, it'll just be Hayden and Aaron riffing off. So
no, that I was talking about
moving.
your move.
Oh yeah,
I thought
no,
you
so that
moved
was supposed to
yesterday.
happen. No, you're right. This was supposed to happen and it didn't. It's gonna be after the wedding. So yeah, no.
Gotcha.
That's on me. Sorry, my bad.
That's okay. You're good.
Yeah. So what have y'all been up to this weekend, guys?
Well, other than just working and enjoying some Bravos dubs, that's been about it for me. What about you, Ned?
Oh, I'm doing the Jameis Winston eating a W because Dim Bravos getting red hot at the right time.
They are.
I've been hosting around my sister-in-law and brother-in-law over in Colorado. Got a new hat, Fort Collins hat. So
Nice.
wearing it loud and proud.
Very nice.
Yeah, so just been running around entertaining and whatnot.
Speaking of, did you see your buffs are starting to rebuild?
My buffs.
Yeah, they started the.
It's the Rams.
I know.
You son of a witch.
Oh wow!
Wow.
Right off
saved it. Saved
the.
Yeah,
Did
you son of sandwich. He said sandwich.
I said
okay.
witch.
Oh, I
Curse-free
I
episode
didn't get the dub.
2023.
Yes, but
one day.
yeah, no. Colorado is. Whew, man, they embody dumpster fire right now. We don't have to
No.
talk too much about Colorado.
I'm
football, but
CSU.
My goodness.
Talking
Yes,
Rams.
no, that's
Talking
right.
Rams.
Who are also not great, but they're not
Oh, no.
Colorado bad.
Not Colorado bad.
Oh, they'll face off here soon enough.
They
So
will.
have either one of you been watching Ring of Power?
I'm not.
a little.
House of the Dragon.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm
well,
way more on House of the Dragon.
so I've been really into Ring of Power. New episode was lit. And so I've also at the same time, Steam's having a sale on Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War.
Oh,
You can get both plus all the DLC for $10. So I just went ahead and bought it, and I've been playing
You
Shadow
should.
of War. It's a lot of fun.
I'll be honest with you. I'll go ahead and say it, best video games ever made. Especially Shadow of War. The Nemesis system is one of the most creative and unique things that any video game company has been able to pull off.
Does it take a while to like get
I
into it?
forgot about that.
Because so like I haven't been able to what am I trying to say? Like I can kill different orc leaders and stuff like that, but I
Uh-huh.
haven't been able to dominate any of them yet. I think you have to unlock that though as you play.
You
through
do.
the
Are you
game.
playing? You said you're playing War.
I'm,
And
I'm
not
playing Shadow of
Mordor?
War because I beat Shadow of Mordor on Xbox One back in the day, so I'm doing
Yeah,
the new.
you just
newer
have to
one.
get there.
Cool.
You just gotta
Okay.
get there on your own.
I'm enjoying it so far though. It's been a lot of fun.
Oh, it's amazing game.
And so yeah, I just been like deep in Lord of the Rings recently. And the game, yeah, the game just has such a good story too. And the Ring of Power's got me where I'm like all into it because Ring of Power's been lit. So yeah, just one if you're trying to get into fantasy games and not just fantasy sports, check it out, guys.
Oh,
Mhm.
speaking of, one of my dogs is very scared of people. So usually when people are staying with us, she like stays in our bedroom, like in her really nice bed. And
Yeah.
like I just turned on the TV for her, like so drown out a little bit of noise. And it was a Lord of the Rings marathon yesterday. And I popped in like every couple hours. She was still there. She made it through all three.
Oh
Lord of
my
the Rings.
goodness.
And she watched Fellowship twice. So she's really gotten into it here of late.
That is awesome.
So
We love to see that.
And my
development.
bark.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness! Wow,
that was lovely.
that was.
So where we want to start, guys?
Yeah, we'll start
Falcons?
with the Falcons.
Yeah,
Yeah,
let's go
Falcons.
the Falcons.
2 weeks in a row.
Yes.
Imagine that. You know what's crazy too is you look back at the whole season and you could argue that the Falcons could have been 4-0. It's crazy. It's so weird to say that.
Yeah.
There's a chance for a win for each game, but yeah, 2-2.
Yes.
Look at that.
You could also argue 0-4.
Yeah,
by
I
that
mean the
same
games are
token.
close. No, you're 100.
Yes.
No, 100% right. You could be 0-4 in the same.
Also
game.
fair.
Yeah, I listened to Wes Durham on the
Wes
way home.
Durham.
Yeah, Wes Durham. And the Falcons broadcast on the way home, so I actually listened to the end of the game, and yeah, he said it himself. He was like, man, as has been the case with almost every Arthur Smith led game, these are white knucklers. These are close games.
Yeah, you're clinched till the
one
end.
way or the other. These games are close. So but this was nice to get 2 wins in a row, like you said. Hasn't happened in over a season.
Yeah.
So.
No, I think too something that's important to talk about is that we're winning despite ourselves in some ways. Like last season, we're winning games that came down the wire and you felt like it was a coin flip. These games, like during the game, besides the Rams game, the other 3 though, the Falcons were the more dominant team for parts of the game, but you couldn't hold it together. And I think one of the major reasons is because of Marcus Mariota. Who'd have guessed?
Imagine that.
I'm pretty sure he only attempted 7 passes today, guys, or only completed 7 passes today, guys.
I was about to say,
what?
He
7?
was, so he was 7 for 19 with 139 yards, 0 touchdowns, and interception.
That
and the funny
is
part
wild.
was he literally he cost drives. Like, so coming into this game, we'd only had 3 and outs on the season, which is actually pretty incredible. And then we proceeded to have 3 in a row today after our first drive, or after our first 2 drives. But he just couldn't do anything. He looked horrible. He looked good until he didn't, and then he looked like he just dropped off a cliff. Like he couldn't do anything. He took a sack today while staring the guy down who was running at him. It was the wildest thing I've ever seen. He just never moved.
He froze.
He did
He
freeze.
literally
He
froze.
But yeah, so Arthur Smith saw enough, and in the second half, he decided to just run the ball. I think we ran the ball like 14 straight plays, all for positive yards.
Even without CP being like very healthy.
Full strength,
Yeah, he wasn't even running at this
No.
point. I think only had 1 or 2 carries for the rest of the game. It was mainly Caleb Huntley and Tyler Algier.
Yeah.
Which they both looked great. Caleb Huntley came in and gave us a big spark, and then
Yeah.
Algier saw Huntley do it, and he's like, you know what? I could do that too. Like
And
I can actually run.
Didn't we also get Avery Williams involved?
Yeah,
a little
1
bit?
carry, 21 yards.
That's right. Yeah, it was that one to start
Oh, it is nuts.
late
So
in the game.
coming in this game, the Browns were the number 1 rushing team in the league, and the Falcons were the number 5. The Browns were actually averaging 190 yards rushing a game, and we held them to 177. So we held them below
And
the average.
We ran for over 200.
Yeah, 202. So
That's crazy.
200.
I mean,
baby.
Arthur Smith finding what our offense is good at, and that's running. Like our offensive line, I don't know what happened over the offseason. Like all we did really was change our center out, upgrade our left guard, and then our right tackle decided to actually play right tackle.
Become more of a man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as we've said before, the most important position in all sports is the center in football. And we know that. And so obviously Dahlman there, I think has been part of that was in jest, but mainly I do think Dahlman is a big reason why.
Yeah, he has had 1 or 2 bad snaps on the season. He had 1 today that went a little over Mariota.
Well,
But
I don't necessarily
Mariota's
mean
dropped more
his-
snaps than
Yes,
been
but
bad.
I don't even mean his snap accuracy. I just mean his leadership on the offensive line,
for
but
sure.
also just being a force, like just being good at run blocking, has really helped a lot.
Yeah, he's much more physical than Hennessy was
Oh,
in that
yeah.
position. But yeah, so Marcus Mariota has 7 turnovers on the year right now through 4 games. So he's averaging almost 2 a game. He had 1 today, almost had 2 more. He fumbled 2 snaps today. 1 hit him in the chest and he just bounced off and he almost blew the game right when we could have won. Like he almost did that thing he's always done where he keeps throwing away games.
So every game.
Gosh,
Yeah, it's every game.
Yeah.
I actually thought he was gonna get benched today for Ritter, but alas, we still won. So
like the Steelers did for Pickett.
Yeah, I know.
I
I
was
don't
about to say we might not be too far away actually.
Yeah.
I don't think we are. And the fact, because like here's a part that one of the things is if we keep winning and our division looks as bad as it does, like the Bucks haven't played today yet because we're recording this on Sunday. But if the Bucks lose today or don't even look good today, like we're still in it to like win our division, which means we can make playoffs. And if that's the case, like they'll put the best quarterback out there, and if Mariota keeps almost running these games away, it's not him.
Well, you'd hope.
Yeah, you'd hope. You would hope.
You would hope it's not him.
I mean, I saw on Twitter today people finally saying stuff that we've been saying, that if Mariota's going to make the mistakes of a rookie, why not have a rookie in there?
Yes.
Yep.
So I don't know. Something else, I just want to go over some of my key takeaways for today. Our Falcons defense, as we talked about all year, it is getting better.
It is.
Yeah. Like we said, because they're so young and there's so many new people starting, like it would take a while for them to get. What's wrong?
Dansby just yanked one out of the park.
Oh,
yeah, live.
Did it go out?
Yeah, it did. This is half live stream, by the way.
Yeah, we're live reacting to the Braves.
I've been trying to fix my Braves stream for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, 1-0 Dansby.
He just absolutely got all of that. That was awesome. So I'm sorry, Blake, but I also figured you would want to know.
I would like to know. Keep doing that. Interrupt me away when it comes to the Braves and the Dongers. Now, for bad things are happening, don't tell me till afterwards. Please.
No. But anyway, okay. So
so talking about the defense. So through, what am I trying to say? Last week, our defense got gashed by the Seahawks until they were able to man up in the second half. Today, it's kind of seemed like it was going to be the same thing, but it wasn't that the case. They actually held on for a while, holding the Browns to only 20 points. This is the Browns' lowest they've scored all year. Coming into the game, only the Falcons and the Browns had scored more than 26 points a game, which neither did that today. But one of the key things is our defense. Like the Browns, if you look at the time of possession, they kept the ball for 10 more minutes than us. And in the first half, they had the ball 15 more minutes than us. So we actually kind of caught up there a little bit. But our defense was doing a lot while being on the field for a long time. But they made plays when they needed to. They had a great interception. They had a great forced fumble, Jalen Hawkins. So I don't know. I'm very impressed by the defense, and I think they're only going to get better.
Yeah, I do feel like they kind of turned a corner the last few weeks, especially at the end of the game today. They looked very impressive, really tight coverage. Feels like, I mean, they gave up some running
as well.
They gave up some running yards, but literally the Browns have the best backfield probably in football.
Yes,
so,
they do.
They do.
You give them a little bit of that aspect of the game. You close off the passing game, and that's what they did, and that's why we won the game.
Yeah, really. They forced Brissett to have to beat them, and he couldn't do it. And if you look too, the Seahawks went up and scored 48 points today. Geno Smith led offense. So I feel pretty good about how the Falcons defense look now after last week. Something else
that was pretty crazy.
Good. Go ahead, Blake.
Points.
I was gonna say something else too that's pretty incredible about the Falcons was we only had one penalty today for 15 yards. It was a bad penalty, but you win games just by being disciplined.
Absolutely.
When you're maybe down talent wise in other ways, that's how you win a game. I'm sorry I'm jumping around the place a little bit. Amari Cooper only had one reception for 9 yards today.
Yep. Really?
Terrell Island is back.
Hell yeah.
We sent him straight to Terrell.
No, there it is.
Hey, Terrell also last week they did the what was accounted for Metcalf. When Terrell was guarding him, he only had 2 catches for 15 yards.
Wow.
Maybe the first week was a blip with Michael Thomas.
And I think that on top of that, the knock on AJ Terrell, even back to last year when he was a top 5 corner, maybe probably. Not that he's not now, but you see what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Was the knock on him was big receivers. You know, he was known for not doing
being
the
physical.
Best. Yeah, and being physical against big physical guys. And there's no one more big and physical at that position than DK Metcalf. So I thought that was really impressive last week.
And Amari Cooper's the same way. He's a big guy.
He's a bigger he's a big dude too.
No, I think something too that's cool is AJ Terrell's actually been rotating him around and having him shadow the best player now, which wasn't what they did last year. Last year was about 50% of the time. This year they're actually shadowing him most of the game.
Right.
And also something again that kind of bit us a little bit today was really what the problem we had the most was those same things, the middle go routes, anything where the tight ends kind of carving up the middle of the field because our 2 linebackers in the middle are giving that up. But still, Mykal Walker almost had an interception today on just went right above him. It's good touch. The Browns' game plan early was really good. A lot of play action fake because you expect them to run the ball a lot, and they were hitting us into they're just hitting us where we were thinking they were going to do something else. So I don't know. I feel like the Falcons' defense was just really incredible. Something else, Lorenzo Carter is someone that I'm already down to re-sign. We're coming here for a 1-year prove-it deal. I want to re-sign him for next year and years. He's been great. He didn't get a sack today. Only Grady Jarrett did, but he played well in coverage. He had 2 pass deflections. Yeah, it was good in the run game. He's just a solid veteran player.
He is.
Hey,
And hometown boy.
Yes,
Yeah.
and hometown.
Gotta
yes.
love it.
There's actually a good amount of hometown guys from Georgia on the Falcons team. Like when they're talking about today, there's like over 15 players, I'm pretty sure, that like are
pretty
from
sick.
Georgia.
Yeah.
No, it's awesome. Something else I think was really cool is that Troy Anderson is just, he's good, dude. He's so good. That is the rookie linebacker that we took out of Montana, I think. I think if we don't re-sign Rashad Evans, which I don't think we will, like I think he'll take over his spot. He's just better in coverage than Evans is already.
Right.
And he's physical enough to be a good run stopper. So I don't know. That's like, those are my big takeaways from today. I don't want to beat the dead horse about Marcus Mariota. We've said it every week. Like,
yeah, there's not much to really expound on there. It is what it is with him.
No, I've definitely said my piece. I still am in the same ballpark. I think the stat line really stands by that today.
That's insane.
Because it looks like a stat line a rookie would put up. Honestly, it looks pretty similar to what Kenny Pickett put up for the Steelers today.
Yeah.
The last time we won with only completing 7 passes was like in 2003 or something like that.
Yeah, it doesn't in today's era, that does not speak to a long-term successful plan.
No.
I'm very happy we've won 2 games in a row, but that is not sustainable.
No.
You got to at least be able to threaten to pass the ball, even if you're not really going to be able to, throw it down.
No, 100%.
Get it down the field accurately, but
yeah, exactly. No, 100%. I think too, something impressive too is like the Falcons, besides week 1, have been really good in the fourth. This is 3 games in a row. We've outscored our opponents in the fourth quarter. And like, I know we didn't beat the Rams, but we made a solid effort to. So we've really come up in clutch plays. And that's same with our defense. Like today, clutch sack in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
And then the very next play, Gray Jarrett's about to get another sack and he throws an interception. So yeah, defense clutch.
And that was D. Alford, right?
Yeah, D. Alford, the CFL
one of the
player.
best stories on the entire roster this year. Sealed the game with the pick. That was awesome to see.
Oh yeah, the Falcons are fun to watch, and even Brady today in our group me, shout out Brady, said that the Falcons are fun. Like it's true. Like you don't even have to be a Falcons fan to be able to watch the team and go like, that's a gritty team.
Yeah.
Hey, I mean we're underdogs, right? That's always something fun to cheer for, especially if you're not a fan. But like, there's just so many glimmers of hope, and like you can see how this team can be successful. Like as close as each game's been, like being good in the fourth quarter, being good on the offensive and defensive lines. Like this team can make a playoff push this year, especially as bad as the rest of the division has been.
We got Dalton.
I mean
down there in New Orleans now.
Oh yeah, no, I agree, and like I think the Browns team that we just beat were pretty good actually. Like the Browns should have been 3-0. That's a 3-0 team. They kind of blew the game against the Jets, but I think it's a decent Browns team that we just beat. So you're beating decent teams. You're going in next week. We play the Bucks. Like I said, I think that's more of a toss-up than we think it might be. I mean, I don't know. What's your expectations now going to that week? We expected to lose this week, and I mean we were in this game the whole time. I felt good about it.
Who did you say we were playing next week?
The Buccaneers.
Bucks. Sorry, we just gave up a ding dong.
Yeah, Danny Bugs just knocked one.
1-1.
Yeah.
I honestly need to see one more game from the Bucks because like I feel like we haven't really seen their full offense yet, and like they're just not clicking. None of their skill players are really healthy right now, so we'll see if they can get something going when like maybe Julio gets back, or I guess they have Mike Evans back this week off of his suspension, so that'll help.
Right.
But yeah, they've been struggling to move the ball a little bit, so
they've got the force that is Russell Gage, former Atlanta
I
Falcon.
mean, I'll say this though, their defense is good. Like, their defense is good. I don't think I'm trying to
go
back.
Match up well against them because honestly, their run defense has been
and that's
very good for
at.
years now, and that's like. I mean, if Mariota's only completing 7 passes, then maybe a struggle.
Yeah, but if their offense, I mean, Mark Ingram had a decent day against them for the Saints. My thing is if their offense is bad though, like our defense, I'm pretty sure keep up with them, like how bad their offense has been playing. So it's really going to be whoever turns over the ball less, which probably I trust Tom Brady more than I trust Marcus Mariota. That's for sure. So yeah, I don't know going into this next week, but here's the thing though, you can lose this coming game now, like. It sucks to lose the Bucks, but like you could lose it now and still have a good chance this season. Like, because you just stole one from the Browns. I feel like I don't know. You kind of lost one early though against the Saints, but I don't know, man. I'm excited. I was so pumped today watching the game. Like I was proud of the team, proud of the effort. If we lost the game, I'm not. Here's the thing. Like I'm not disappointed when we lose this year, like as much as I normally would be, because like you know why. It's
Right.
watching the day to day. I was like, Marcus Mariota's going to lose us this game, and he didn't. But like that's could have been that.
He tried his best.
Yeah, it's I mean, how many more performances like that can he put up before like you either turn to Ritter or else we have to assume Ritter is just not ever going to be the guy.
Yeah, and I hope it wouldn't be as critical as I've been of Arthur Smith. I still don't think he's the type of coach that, because we've seen it in the past, coaches get too set in their ways as far as this is how I like to handle rookie quarterbacks, or like this is how I like to handle X adversity, and they don't adapt beyond that. But I don't think Arthur Smith is the type to do something like that. So I do think we would see him.
I agree. I think Mariota has a short leash, probably. Like we won today, that probably kept him like going.
Right.
That's my thing. Is you've won 2 in a row. That's probably why. But like, I don't think it's a long leash at all. Because like, I don't know, it's been unacceptable. His performance has really been unacceptable. Bad at this point.
I mean, I think you nailed it when you said we've been winning despite his play.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Like, I think it's a testament to Art's coaching a little bit. Like, I know y'all aren't the biggest fans of Art Smith, but like, I think he's done an admirable job this year. And I think with a good quarterback next year, I mean, the sky's the limits for the team. But
could be.
I feel like it's hard to talk about the Falcons when we actually win a little bit.
Yeah,
because like I really just not that I want us to lose, but it's easier to dig in and like be pissed off when it's something dumb.
It is.
Or like I guess if we had lost today, then it's the same thing.
Same that we've been having.
But I guess we can add some time at the end. We're talking about the Bulldog struggle. This week.
Yes, my goodness.
No, for sure.
Probably dig in on that.
Yes.
Was there anything like that stuck out to you besides what we've talked about with the Falcons game that was like this person stepped up?
No, I think it's been the same people. Like Jalen Hawkins playing well.
Richie Grant.
Richie Grant plays well. Troy Anderson playing well. You had Michael Walker playing well again. Like all the same people. D'Angelo Malone had a couple big plays today. He's one of the defensive or outside linebackers we drafted. Arnold Kebby had a big play. AK. So no, I just think it's the people you think need to have big plays or having big plays. Today was kind of Tyler Allgeier's coming out party though. Him and Caleb Huntley both. Tyler Algier had 10 rushes for 84 yards, something like that. 8 yards.
That's what I want to focus on actually is those 2 running backs just coming through and kind of out of nowhere for Huntley.
Yeah.
Good teams have depth at running back, as bad as that may be for my fantasy team. I mean, if you have depth at the position, like it's a very physical position, and running backs are going to get hurt, especially if we have to focus on the run game as we go through the season. Even with Ritter in, a rookie quarterback is able to have way more success if they have a solid run game to lean on.
Yep.
So having depth at that position is extremely important.
I think you're 100% right. And Caleb Huntley, like he's a lot like CPAT where he hits the line with explosion. So like he's going to cause violence when he goes through there. Like I feel like for a Tyler Algier, he's more of a guy who's looking for his hole, looking for his crease, and then cutting up the field going quick. He's pretty good out of the backfield with his hands. But they're different kind of runners. But then Tyler Algier also carried a cornerback for 17 yards today in the game, like on a 40-yard rush. So it was pretty impressive. So, I mean, I just think you're exactly right. We have a lot of good running backs, and even though Cordell Patterson might miss some time, I don't think we're going to be as bad there as people think we might. Like, I know last week we talked about, well, if we miss our best player, how are we going to win games? But today he wasn't playing for the whole second half, and we were still able to win the game because of the other running back stepping up. So I think it's a testament to the offensive line, too, and how much they've improved, like we were talking about earlier.
No, I agree.
Next man up.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That wraps up really the Falcons. Like I don't have much more to say than that. Like it was a good win. I was really excited about it.
It was impressive.
It's hard to digest a lot the same day of the game, like to really dive into the good and the bad.
Yeah, and I would also say today, Pitts was only targeted 4 times, 1 catch for 25 yards. But that's as upset about that as I was early in the season. I think that's not Arthur Smith's fault today. Because if you only throw the ball 19 times, it's kind of hard to.
He only completed 7.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You only threw it 19 times. You only completed 7 of those. It's kind of difficult to complain about.
I thought Art made a huge statement like where after that drive before where Mariota almost just like ruined the game. He's like, you know what? We're just gonna run the ball. Like
Yeah,
you're
we're just gonna
not
run the
going to
ball.
pass it anymore because
I'm
you
not
can't.
gonna let you.
Well, the
beat
problem
us.
is he still has to take the snap. So
Right. Yeah, and he
that
was
is
still
an
almost
he is
fluid.
still struggling with that. So
Gosh, it's insane.
that's
It's
a
so
little
close.
frustrating.
I don't know.
So
I
what-
think
It is.
I don't want to see us
Before-
lose next week, but
Before we move on, yeah, what do you guys got in terms of predictions of Falcons Bucks? Is it at home? Is it on the road?
it's it's away. So we're playing in
Okay.
Tampa. It depends on what Tampa we're playing, but here's the thing: if Mariota plays like he did today against the Buccaneers, I think we lose by more than a touchdown. You know what I mean? Like I think we lose by 2 scores next week.
Yeah,
So
they're gonna pounce on that. Not that the Browns' defense is bad, but that Bucks defense is really good.
yes, no, 100% agree. So I actually don't think. I don't think it'll be good for the Falcons. I think we do lose this one, and I think it could be like the beginning of the end for Mariota. And the crazy part is we play the 49ers the very next week with another good defense. So Mariota's going to really have to step up, or he's not going to be starting after this next couple of games.
You almost want him to have a catastrophic game, which
Yes.
that could have been today if we
It
lost.
could have.
If he has a catastrophic game, maybe that's what it takes to make that push.
Mm-hmm.
And we just
Maybe
send Mariota to the doghouse and let Ritter have his day.
Yeah,
And maybe the Steelers today, like, because today if we lose the game, you're so upset if you're a Falcons defense because you played so well, like the whole game. Like you were out there most of the game and you still only gave up 20 points. Like you played so well.
Yeah.
And I think the Steelers maybe can motivate the Falcons to do something. How they bench their quarterback halfway through the game. They're like, all right, no, Mitch, you're bad. Like you're done. So maybe we see something like that, like where it's just like, all right, Mariota's thrown 2 interceptions in the first quarter, and now he just fumbled the snap again. We've seen enough.
And you know, like it's like we've been saying too, like he's making mistakes that a rookie makes, and like even with Kenny Pickett coming in for the Steelers, I think he threw like 3 interceptions. I would not care if I was a Steelers fan.
No.
Like, you know that Mitch Trubisky is not the future.
Right.
And you want to see what you got, and honestly, the kid's probably going to give you a better chance to win. Which it's honestly a mirror situation because they have a good defense, they have a good run game. They have Mike Tomlin, who's like just a great coach, proven coach. And while we may not have that, we're not very far away from being a very competitive team, and we've been competitive in every game so far. Surprising as that is. So I don't think we match up well against the Bucks, unfortunately, with their strength being run defense and our strength being run offense. But yeah, I don't think we'll win. But you know, hopefully they play a close game again and at least get a shot here at the end.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think it's all we can like really hope for is a close game. But here's the thing, though, like maybe we need to get killed for Mariota to get benched. Like that's the hard part. When you're winning, like you get why they don't change things up, and if you can keep winning, then keep going. Like if they go next week and say we beat the Bucks and Mariota like plays well enough to beat the Bucks, you got to keep them in, right? Like if you're winning, you got to keep rolling with it until you stop. Like that's the hard part, though. What if we just muddle our way to 9-7, we make playoffs, and then it's like, well, shit, we don't even know if Ritter.
And then Ritter never.
Right. So it's like, what's the saying? I don't know how to say anything without kind of say you're messed up if you do, or you're messed up if you don't. Basically, that's like the nicest way I could say that.
That's not. You could have said the actual saying.
I don't know. I'm trying my best.
Yeah. PG-13, you get 1 F-bomb anyway.
You're dad gummed if you do. You're dad gummed if you don't.
Yeah, there you go. You're dead gummed if you do, and you're dead gummed if you don't. So, yeah, that's all I have for the Falcons today. I don't know if I didn't anything else.
No,
I'm happy about it.
Yeah,
I'm finally happy
about
for
it.
once.
Yeah, I'm finally happy for once.
Your tone of voice sounded extremely happy, by the way.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
Here it is.
I'm
I'm quite
so
happy right
today.
now.
Yes.
Can't you tell?
Yes. I will say also a bit of juice there, right as we wrap up to move into the Braves seg. Charlie just got himself out of a tough situation in the top of the second.
Go Charlie.
After the Danny Burgess home run, he let 2 more men on base, but then he got 3 outs and we're on to the bottom.
The Danny who?
Had to
Danny
go
Burgess.
back. Big Daddy. I had to turn my Brave stream off because I have trouble focusing in 2 different places at once. I had to ask Blake to repeat himself, I think, twice. So probably should just focus on what you're saying instead of trying to watch a baseball game.
Dude.
So
I'm not used to people paying attention to what I say anyway. So
we can talk about
Fair.
we can talk about them Braves.
Braves.
It has been
Braves.
a really, really good week. Obviously, we're still in the midst of the Mets series, but we took the first 2, which was, I would not saying surprising, but like, I mean, it is best case scenario, obviously.
Oh yeah.
But we beat Jacob deGrom and we beat Max Scherzer, who are
come on,
both probably top 5 pitchers in the league.
Oh,
if
yeah.
I'm being honest, and you know we've always kind of had Scherzer's number. Luckily enough,
not this year
but
though.
He's been pretty solid against us. But yeah, I mean, Fried went out there. He shoved, even though he was sick. He got pulled in the 5th because he's throwing up in the dugout. So
yeah, we won in unconventional ways. Like that was the cool part. Like
that was really cool.
You don't think you're gonna win a game where Fried comes out in the 5th and you're playing DeGrom?
Yeah,
and then you do. So,
but I have to say, those guys that everybody was complaining about that were struggling for most of September.
Why do we get Matt Olson?
Yes, those are the guys that have come through so far in the series. Matt Olson, Austin Riley, Dansby. I mean, Dansby's now homered in 2 straight games because he homered tonight. Wait, he may have. I think he's homered in 3 straight, actually. I think he homered after Grom
Friday
too.
as well.
Yeah.
And wait, didn't he also homer against the Nationals too?
He may have.
Nobody cares about the Nationals.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. Right on cue, by the way. Matt Olson draws a leadoff walk here, right as you mentioned.
There you go.
Name.
Hey, you gotta
get them on. They were just doing what they needed to do and wait till October to get hot.
Yep.
I mean, it's fine by me. And like, this isn't the typical Mets collapse, and like Mets fans may be going there now because they're in their death spiral.
Right.
But this is exactly what I meant, that like we know now that we're not just going to be able to like play 500 baseball to win the division. We have to take it. And that's exactly what we're doing. And now the scenario is, if we win tonight and we sweep this series, then we only need one more win or one more Mets loss, and then we will officially clinch our 5th consecutive division.
That's pretty wild. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I saw that we put ourselves in like a good place by just winning the first 2 games anyways. Like going 2-0 in the first 2 games, like that was like if you at least go 2-0, you have an easier chance to win the division than any other way. Yes. Because I think you still are in the driver's seat for the division. That's why losing the Nationals 1 game really hurt this week, though, because we could have already kind of sealed it.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. We just got to move forward. But they're playing well. Kinley had us a little bit scared on Friday night, but he came back and pitched well last night. Had a clean inning, and I mean, the rest of the relievers are starting to come into place as well. And I don't believe we've even seen Minter yet this series, but like Raziel Iglesias, he's just nasty. He's only given up one run as a Brave, so I'm very excited that we have him on a long-term deal, and hopefully he's one of these diamonds in the rough relievers that can actually be good year after year, which is extremely hard to find. But I mean, his stuff is nasty. He's going to be pitching in a lot of high leverage situations.
What'd you think about the Charlie Morton extension?
I was a little surprised.
I actually didn't see that. What did we extend him by?
It's the same contract we gave him last year, I'm pretty sure.
So it's a 1-year deal with a club option.
For another,
So yeah,
$20 million.
Basically, we re-upped it. So $20 million for next year, which he is a veteran, and like maybe there's stuff that we don't see that he's impacting. So apparently he's really mentored Kyle Wright a lot, which is very valuable. I think my hope would be with like the arm talent that we have, especially like with Bryce Elder coming on late this year too. Soroka, maybe he makes a push. Ian Anderson isn't even on our team right now. He never came back up.
Oh, I forgot about Ian Anderson.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's easy to do. We got a lot of guys up there, but
holy crap.
I think my hope would be that Charlie would be malleable in that he wouldn't care what his role is with the team. Because if he starts struggling, and next year hopefully, then like if we can move him into long relief and kind of keep him in the fold, working with these younger guys, keeping them going, make sure their prep is good.
I think that is the case. I think he would be perfectly fine with that.
Yeah, people like Brad Rowland too were like excited about this deal because if you look at Charlie Morton's year, he's actually had a pretty good year. He started off bad, but he came into the season nursing a broken foot, so he didn't have the time to do training camp like he normally would have. So I actually am fine with it having him again.
I mean,
because what's your other alternative?
He's throwing 97 like as a how old is he? 39. I think he's okay.
Yeah.
And like these pitchers, they do have longevity now, and like as long as he's takes care of his body in the offseason and stuff, hopefully we don't have any injuries we're running into or anything. But yeah, I mean he can throw perfectly fine. He has great movement still, so yeah, he can be an asset to our team. It is a lot of money. A lot of people were hoping we would go after Jacob deGrom, which we make another deep postseason run, we very well could have the money to do just that.
We
And
could.
it wouldn't matter.
Or we're saving up for Judge, man.
Oh my
speaking
God.
of-
We have not talked about that in a while,
No,
but
we
I do
haven't.
not think we can afford that. I don't know if anybody can. He just might not play next year. I
Yeah,
don't know.
you know what? He's a
He's
free
about to
agent
own a team next
the whole
year.
season.
Good grief.
Speaking of extensions for pitchers, did you guys see the Shohei Ohtani deal?
No.
What they did over there? They, to avoid arbitration, they gave him a 1-year deal for $30 million.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's-
1 year,
I mean,
$30 million.
That's awesome for him.
It is. Yeah.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Okay. Gotcha. Sorry, I lost you guys for a second, but
Very good.
I'm good. Yeah.
Hey, Hayden, you good?
Hayden, you don't look good. You look frozen.
Sorry,
looks
we're
like-
going to have to pause. Can you hear me right now?
Yeah, you are fine now. Yes.
No?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you're good.
I don't think
Sorry,
he can
guys.
hear us.
No, I don't think you can. Ed Gurnett, we were going
Super
well.
Rosario.
Yep. Oh, were you able to pull it up?
Yeah, I'm watching. Yeah.
Nice, perfect.
Yeah, I saw that fielder's choice. I saw you make the look right when I made the look.
Oh, right when it happened?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were both like,
Okay,
Yeah.
there it goes. I can hear
and
you
he's
guys.
back.
He's back.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Could you hear me the whole time?
Yeah, we could
Yeah.
hear you the whole time. Yeah.
Whatever. Technical difficulties.
Yes, no worries.
I'm not cutting it out because I'm lazy.
Woo! Yeah, we didn't say anything that we were talking about Super
Yeah.
Rosario.
I rattled off just 5 of the worst racial slurs you've ever heard, but other than that, that's about it.
Yeah, just
That might
five,
help with
just
our
5 of them.
viewership.
Yeah, there you go. Just 5 though.
Yeah, we're trying to. Yeah,
But yeah, Eddie is starting to play his part again, and like even Ozuna had a double last night too. Oh
who?
We don't talk about him. But I think Acuna had 3 hits last night. Maybe Austin Riley had a couple hits too. And Matt's hitting. I mean, it's all just starting to click. So
It is, man.
Also, RC back in the lineup. He's just been a solid player. Like I don't know if he'll cool off again, and then right when
Yeah,
he
is
cools off,
Vaughn-
Grissom will be
is-
back. But
Is Vaughn hurt? So I actually
He's
missed why
he's not hurt.
what's-
slumping.
Arcia came back from injury, and yeah, he was slumping pretty hard. So
and RC has been
Smith
hot,
just made the
hot
swap.
hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I kind of think that's the way to ride it until.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
it
mean,
is. Yeah.
I mean, probably also when Ozzy comes back, just because he's not really going to be able to have like a rehab stint,
Right.
like he was able to when the minors were
Right.
still going on. So yeah, it might just be hot hand if
By the way, what
have
is the
Ozzy off the
Aussie
bench.
timetable?
I'm honestly not sure. I think
Yeah.
they were thinking we might have him back like second or third round of the playoffs, but
Gotcha.
I don't know.
Who knows
It's
with that,
it's
though?
his right pinky, so I think if anything, he would be pinch hitting or DHing. Which
Yeah, because he's
I don't know
right-handed,
if you
right?
really
Yeah.
want. Yeah. Well, he's switch hitter. He's.
Well, I
better
just
at
meant throwing the
hitting his
ball.
right. Oh yeah, he throws
yeah.
right.
So a September 30th article by the AJC says that we don't have clarity regarding Ozzy Albies or Spencer Strider.
Love that.
Yeah, I've been seeing that more and more lately. He hasn't resumed throwing yet, which is not great. But what we're hoping for is that we do win tonight and we do win the division, because then we basically have a week. before we play.
Yes.
So
That's
that
awesome.
might give him time to get a bullpen in, see what his arm strength is. But yeah, he would not be ready for the wild card series.
While we're on the subject of injuries and timetables, where's Soroka?
Soroka, he stayed healthy. I think he had some elbow issues, but it didn't like lead to like Tommy John, luckily
Yeah.
enough. So they did end up shutting him down after he made like 3 or 4 starts, which is good. He got back into the swing of it, and we'll just have to see. I'm sure he'll be at spring training and actually getting some starts there.
Yeah.
Okay, but there's no chance he comes in for October or anything like
No. I don't
Gotcha.
think we would want to.
Maybe Ian
yeah.
Anderson comes back though, and that's the weird part. Was Ian Anderson supposed to be our number 2 this year or number 3?
Honestly, he was supposed to be our 4.
Our 4?
Well, no, 3. because we didn't expect Kyle Wright to be good.
Right, yeah.
So it was on. It was probably it was supposed to be Freed, Morton, Ian, Kyle, and then miscellaneous. And
That's
then
crazy.
That is completely flipped
It's
on its head.
been
I mean,
insane.
I would still, if
Freed,
it was
Strider.
a Game 7 of the World Series, I would still want Freed over Strider, though it is way closer than you
It
would
should
think.
be. Yeah.
Yes. And that's
but
no
yeah.
fault. No, that's
Freed.
not Max's fault at all.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, he's had like a Cy
He's
Young
had a
season.
yeah,
Like-
exactly. That's the
like
crazy
he's not
part.
gonna win it, but he might get some votes still, which is
Yeah.
nuts. But yeah, so we'll just have to see. I think we're planning on doing a short episode later this week if one of these guys will join me.
Yeah, get a little playoff
and-
preview.
Yeah, we'll do a playoff preview and see what we're looking like. Hopefully,
Playoffs.
hopefully we'll get that opening round bye after we clinch our 5th straight.
That's
divisional
right,
title.
baby.
A lot
we
a lot
can-
rides on tonight.
Nourish ourselves with the tears of Mets fans, like we've been wishing for.
Nom,
all
nom, nom,
year.
nom, nom.
Oh yes,
Yes.
feed me.
Yeah, I had
but yeah.
well, I was talking to somebody at work today who's from New York, and I mean, I didn't want to get mainly because they're a boss of mine, but I didn't want to get too into things like this. But they said something along the lines of, "Man, I just can't believe the Braves beat the Mets yesterday," and I'm just thinking to myself, "You can't.
Oh.
This will be 5 years in a row now. You really." That's
They're
something
playing
that's
in Atlanta.
difficult to wrap your
Yeah.
head around.
Oh
Like,
man,
come on now.
is he one of those guys that really like? He holds his hat on the 1986 World Championship.
Well,
Mets.
that's the thing. I can't really tell yet because, like I said, because he is my boss.
yeah, you can't dig
I
into
just
it.
kind of dance around it each time. Like I'll poke
Oh,
a
yeah.
little fun of him here and there, but no, we don't really get too much into it.
So we had a Jersey Friday every week right now where you can wear your
Yeah.
sports any sports jersey on Fridays. And so my boss comes in wearing a Braves World Series jersey from last year. He goes home for lunch, comes back in wearing a South Carolina baseball jersey. I was like, "What are you doing? Like, why?"
What's happening?
He went
here?
to South Carolina for undergrad and he graduated from UGA for grad
Okay.
school. But he's like, I just thought it was a really cool jersey, so I had to switch. I was like,
Had
is
to
that even a
switch it
real
up.
team? And he goes,
South
"Hey,
Carolina,
we're good at baseball."
like, yeah, they were really good.
They
A couple,
used to
like
be,
I think
yeah.
they won back to back.
Yeah, they
like
won
10
back-to-back
years
national
ago.
titles when we were around high school aged. Yeah.
We invited him out to lunch, and he goes, "I don't want people thinking I'm a South Carolina fan." Like, why are you wearing the jersey?
Yeah.
Oh man, I mean, I don't. How did South Carolina fare this week? They did okay. I think they beat South Carolina State or something like that. They may have covered the spread, unlike our
Oh,
Georgia
boy.
Bulldogs. So do we want to
That's unfortunate.
dabble in that area?
Mets are up 2-1.
yeah.
Yeah, let's transition. Yeah.
One just got yonked. All right. Anyway. Okay, so we're going over to the college game real quick. Is that what I'm hearing?
Let's talk about the Five Stripes real quick.
Okay. Sam Soccer Seg, real quickly, sponsored by Sam. Shout out Sam.
Thanks for all the money you give us, Sam.
Yeah, thank you for all the money. It wasn't like a terrible game. We lost 2-1 to the New England Revolution at home, and that does fully end our playoff hopes. That has been Talking Soccer, Sam Soccer Seg. Let's move
I
on.
love soccer.
Yes.
I say
So-
let's have a Atlanta United debrief after the season. We'll talk about
yeah, we can
where
have
we
a
should
little
go.
longer.
But that's all we need to talk about. They don't deserve more of our time this week.
No, they don't. Okay, so first, let's see. Do we want to touch briefly on Georgia Tech before we get into the Dawgs?
Yes.
All right, so Georgia Tech fired their head coach and athletic director, as we talked about last episode, and it seemed to give them the immediate shot in the arm that happens a lot of times in soccer, not so much college football. Soccer loves getting rid of head coaches and
Halfway during the
What-
season.
halfway during the and so but yeah, they went up against a ranked team, 24th ranked Pitt. Good program, great program even. And yeah, they beat them. Let's see, what was the score? It was close, wasn't it, Blake?
26-21.
26-21. Yeah. I
The
didn't
crazy
watch
part
game,
was the score was 9-7 at the end of the third quarter.
but-
And then it ended 26-21.
Gosh. So yeah, it seemed that getting rid of Jeff Collins is all they needed. We'll
Yeah.
see how that goes.
No, seriously though, like you had the most embarrassing beginning of this season, and then you fire your coach, and immediately they win. I feel like
Yeah, it
that's
was bad. It's a bad
it's a
look.
sign that it was the right thing to do.
Yep. Also, did we talk about that interesting story? I don't think we have, because it just came out, I think, a couple days ago. Weird story came out of there. The AJC released an article talking about how Jeff Collins and the athletic director, I forget his name, but when they were let go, they were escorted to their cars by campus security.
Really?
Yeah, did you happen to see that?
Did you happen to see that Hayden just left the?
I did. He messaged us. He said keep going. He had to reboot.
Oh, cool. All right,
So you're the host.
No,
now.
I did not see that.
It's fine. Yeah. So yeah, they had to be, or not had to be. That's the thing. They were escorted to their cars by campus security, and so they kind of. Wait, did I lose you too, Blake?
No.
Okay, sorry. You had this frozen face there. For a
I was
second, yeah.
listening to the story.
Okay, yeah, no, but they had to be escorted to their cars from campus security, and the story was kind of about like, why? That's not normal.
Right.
He's in a different. Did you have to take the jacket off? That's all it was.
No, my technology was failing me so much. I started getting really mad, and then like that caused my body temperature to rise. The jacket had to come off. My face was getting red.
That, yes.
Just a rage.
You know what's
fury.
funny? At first, I thought he was trying to get us back for all the times we froze, and I'm starting to laugh because I thought he was like trying to act like he was frozen, and then I was like, wait, he's doing a really good job at that. Like, he has not blinked in way too long.
You guys know I don't make jokes.
No.
That's not my thing.
jokes.
So
I've never once laughed at anything he said.
Wow.
I know that's true.
That's good. Okay, no. So I was just telling Blake about this story. Hayden, I don't think we talked about it. Of an AJC article that came out talking about how when Jeff Collins and the AD were fired, that Georgia Tech campus security escorted them to their vehicles afterward.
What?
And that was really weird. That was kind of
was Jeff like stealing computers or something from the university?
Right,
and like they're
Jeff,
like, you know what? That's
We're
the
gonna
last
have to-
computer
yeah.
this guy's stealing.
Well,
He was like trying to take a Surface with him that they could use on the sidelines.
Right. Yes. So a couple things also interesting from that same article. I'm trying to get to it. Man, navigating Twitter on a desk on a computer is strange. I don't know where anything
I'll say
is.
while you're trying to find that.
Very strange.
How absolutely insulting would that be? As like you were like if you're the college football coach like at a big university like that, you're like untouchable almost like during your tenure. So like to go from that to like, I mean, he knew he was in the hot seat, but like to be escorted off campus like he was like a criminal or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Why
It's
did
ridiculous.
escort him? Yeah, it's
It's like, come on, guys, you're paying him like
You will not
a couple
affect the
$1 million
students here
just to
anymore.
buy him out. Like
Exactly.
You will not hurt our players. And
all right,
it's
so
not. Good things are
here's
not
the-
happening right now for the Braves.
Here's the no, they're not. Dang, are they up 3-1 now?
Yeah, they're up 3-1 with 0 outs right now in the third.
Hate
Guy
that.
on first and third.
Danny Bragas again.
see,
All right.
that's Charlie can get in trouble giving up the long ball like that.
Yeah.
So
Bob, all right, so in the article they reached out to a guy named Bob Vecchione, I think is how you pronounce his name, who is, you ready for this? This is gonna be a mouthful. He's the CEO of the National Association of Collegiate Athletic Directors of Athletics. All right, so let's
why is that a title?
Yeah,
My question.
yeah. First of all, did Derek Zoolander name that association? The National Association of Collegiate Athletic Directors of Athletics. I mean, come
Of
on,
directors.
Yeah,
Season
Tag that,
two.
tag an extra
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
So anyway, but Bob kind of couldn't pick a lane here in his response. He said, quote, "This action does not strike me as unusual," end quote there, theorizing that it's probably just based on a policy or protocol at the institute, right? And that, no incident was actually happening. That's just what they do when they fire anybody. But then when he asked if he'd ever heard of such a processing procedure, he said, "In my 30 years on the job, this is the first I've ever heard of any such activity surrounding a dismissal."
Well, that's not unordinary. So how many times has that happened? This is the first
Never
time.
in 30
Yeah,
years.
right.
Yeah, so I just thought that was a very funny.
They didn't even do that to Tony Dungy over in
No, yeah, exactly.
Arizona State. They fired him in the end zone walking
It
off the
wasn't
field.
Tony Dungy.
No, yeah, not
Wait.
Tony Dungy. Herm
Herm
Edwards.
Edwards.
Herm Edwards. Oh yeah.
Wow, big swing and a miss there, Ned.
Okay. All right. We can't pretend like they don't look. They look alike.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
What about them?
Yeah.
They're both lanky, older black men, right?
That's fair. That's fair. They are. All right.
Yeah,
I don't
so,
think that's
but one's
racist.
No,
but
it's-
one's
I don't
a
think
no,
it's
I
good.
didn't think so at all. But one's a
Just had
Hall of
to
Fame
razz
coach
you
and
there.
one's not.
Yeah, true. One of them does have one of the coolest post-game tirades I've ever seen, though. The whole "you
Playoffs.
play to win the game.
Yes.
You play to win the game." It was beautiful, and he's not wrong. You do.
And
do
he
that.
got he
Yeah,
also
Tony
got
Dungy,
fired.
right?
Yes,
Wow.
Tony
Wow.
Dungy.
That one was a joke because I knew.
He actually got fired too on the sidelines of the ASU,
In
like
the
right
end
after the
zone.
game, in the end zone. Yeah.
In the end zone, the AD and the president met him at the field goal posts, and we're like,
and did you see
Yeah.
that his
That's what I was talking about.
Yeah,
before I
yeah.
got
that
his
his
name
Yes.
yeah, right, that his temps were giving away like his signs during the game to the other team.
Wait, they what? Say
Jesus.
that again?
Like his aides were like giving away like his calls and stuff to the other team because they wanted him fired.
Seems bad. That seems not good.
Yeah, not good at all.
off. Be nice to
Huh.
your interns, folks.
Yeah. Great. Yes. All right. So, let's move on to a subject that's not going to be as happy as the Braves. It's not filled with despair though. And that would be the Dogs.
It's close.
Dogs.
Yeah. So they traveled up to Columbia, Missouri. And I think it is in Columbia, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it is. So, and they faced off against a not good 2-2 Missouri Tigers team. And man, we looked bad for the first time since the Alabama game or since the national championship game. We did not score in the first quarter, or we didn't score a touchdown in the first quarter.
They didn't score at all in
Um,
the first quarter.
Oh yeah, it wasn't at all, right? Okay,
Yep.
yeah.
0-3.
Yeah, and that's right. And so, and then I think, gosh, we trailed by 10 with only 5 minutes left to go in the game, and that was the first time we had trailed since again
The same
the
game.
Alabama game. And so I don't know. We're obviously going to dive into a few things here and there. Let me bring up the box score real quick because there's some stats there that are telling. But basically, just I do want to say at least before we get into some of the bad that I am very proud of how we ended the game.
Mm-hmm.
We exerted our force. We took over. The offense had no trouble moving the ball between the 20s the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
The issue was red zone.
Again.
Again, for some strange reason, like it was against Kent State. The issue was, we just couldn't punch it in. We would move the ball with a quickness down into an angle situation, and then 3 plays later, we're trotting out Podlesny. So that's not what you want to see from a number 1 ranked team trying to defend their national title with another. So, what were y'all's takeaways from that? I know we're probably going to be on the same page here, but
Along with that, I just noticed that we also again are turning over the ball a lot.
yeah,
Like that's been a common theme in the games we've struggled in, have been turning over the ball. And it's been a lot of fumbles. Like Sesson Bennett hasn't thrown many interceptions. I think he's only thrown one on the year.
he threw 1 against Kent State, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's been fumbles. This time it's Kendall Milton, even though he had a good game besides that.
Right.
Did Ladd fumble again this game?
But he had a drop.
Yeah. And so
Honestly, that was like the opening drive, maybe, or maybe.
Yeah, I think it was the opening drive.
Definitely in the first quarter, but it was like it would have been a big gainer and like maybe changed the momentum around.
Yeah.
So I was like, dang, Lad again.
Once again,
I'm getting in his head.
which is just so strange.
offensively, we just need to get the ball to the tight ends more. Like Brock Bowers and Darnell Washington are 2 best offensive players, I feel like.
Yes.
Yeah, it's hard to argue against that.
Like
Darnell is a freak. I'm so impressed with him.
he's
He hurled
so
somebody else
fast for a
again.
big man.
He gave him a
Yes.
concussion trying to hurdle a guy.
Oh,
and
he did. Yeah, he
He
needed
didn't even
his
fall
helmet.
over.
Right.
Like, I
he
mean,
didn't even
it's
fall
he's nuts. My takeaway though was like I felt like we made Missouri look like they were the number 1 team, and it felt like we were playing the number 1 team in the nation. Like I don't know, it was like a weird momentum thing. We just never got going. Luckily, we turned it on the last 10 minutes or something.
If
But
that.
it honestly, it felt like we were going to lose most of the game.
Crazy
Yeah.
part though is if you look at the stats, we still like kill them in every statistical category. Like that's the nuts part is you're outperforming these people. You're just if you don't score points though, you're going to lose games. Like if you don't, if you
On the road in the SEC is no joke, no matter who you're playing, unless you're playing Vanderbilt. Outside of that, it's not really anything to mess around with. And I think they saw that. I hope it's a wake up call because clearly Kent State wasn't. We did see some, I hope, encouraging things in that regard on the sidelines when we found ourselves down by double digits, I believe it was Jamon Dumas Johnson lit up his defensive teammates over there. There's actually a clip of it. I think you can find on ESPN.
That was after we gave up that was it like the dump pass to the tight end that was like,
in fact,
a pseudo block.
I got the clip right here. Actually, yes, that's exactly what it was. Yeah, it was their touchdown to put Missouri up 10-0. Jamon Dumas Johnson goes over there and just lights up Kamari Lassiter. I mean, bad. But that's also what you need. You don't want these guys to be out there sleepwalking when something like this is happening. And it obviously didn't take effect immediately, but yeah, we did clamp it down. We did get the win. I do want to say that this separates us still from your Oklahomas of the world, your Ohio States of the world, because of the fact that they lose these games. Ohio State's good for one Iowa loss a year. Oklahoma, this Oklahoma team is good for a lot more.
Yeah.
But the Lincoln Riley Oklahoma team still, they were good for one upset against Kansas State probably.
Well, probably Kansas. Kansas looks good this year.
Kansas looks good now. Yeah. Oh, I also thought it was funny. So Georgia dropped to what? 2, I think.
Yeah.
Is Alabama number 1 again?
Yep.
Okay. The funny thing was, I don't know if you guys saw the ESPN notification, like how they set it up, but when I saw that notification today, it was like, with Georgia stumbling, there's a new number 1, and then the picture they sent with the notification was a Kansas player, and I was like, dang, Kansas shot up there, unranked to number 1,
Kansas.
Wow.
But can we talk about that though? Kansas still aren't ranked, I don't think, but they're 4-0 and I
think they did get in the rankings, didn't they?
Finally, but like. They're statistically one of the best teams in football right now.
They are, and it's like that thing I sent.
And they're only 19.
Yeah,
yes, that thing you sent me.
That thing I sent you on TikTok. I don't think I sent it to you, Hayden, but it was this dude. It's fine. It's whatever. It was this guy. I can't remember. We would all recognize him. I can't remember his name though. But he does a blind resume, and he compares 2 teams. And it's like Team A is ranked, Team B is not ranked, and then he goes through their resume, and he's like, it's clear that Team B should be the one that's ranked and Team A shouldn't be. And Team B was, when he revealed them, was Kansas, and Team A was like, I can't remember, but who was it? Was it Oklahoma or something like that?
I can't remember either, but it was Kansas. The fact that Kansas though will play TCU this coming week, like they'll actually have a decent matchup coming up. So
College Game Day is going to be in Manhattan, Kansas for the
nice.
No, that's Kansas State. They're going to be in Lawrence? Wherever the heck Kansas plays. Lawrence, thank you. Did you say that, Hayden?
That's what.
Yeah, Lawrence. They're going to be in Lawrence for the first time ever, so that's pretty sick.
Back to UGA though. When I'm thinking back about the game and what I felt the turn was, it felt like the run game actually started being effective there in the fourth quarter.
Right.
And that was largely carried by Kenny McIntosh, and I think he's our best like speed running back, and I think he's also our best power running back.
You think he's a better power back than Milton?
I do. I think he makes better reads. So even in like a goal line situation, I think he would be the guy I would want to go to.
Right.
And like, Milton had that fumble. It was on a big run. But yeah, that's an issue.
Well, I agree. And I think the coaching staff agreed, because in the fourth quarter, Milton was nowhere to be found. It was Daijun Edwards. In fact, he's the one that punched in the go-ahead score.
Yep. Yeah. Personally, I just think that we don't have that lead back anymore, though. That one running back that's just better than the rest. I'm not saying that McIntosh isn't better than him, but you can't tell me these 3 are better than the last couple of sets of running backs we've had. I feel like
no,
currently no.
Yeah, it's like the weakest running back we've had in a while.
Part of that comes with what I'd like to say next, which is that the offensive line played pretty poorly last night.
Yeah.
Missouri dialed up a lot of pressure. I think that's something that people have identified that can be successful against UGA, especially given how much we throw the ball now. And that's not 100% on the offensive line. If they bring 6 or 7 and you only got 5 to block, But when it came to run blocking, that's what was the most disappointing to me. I mean, it was bad. And they also made a ton of mistakes penalty-wise, too. Between holding and jumping off sides or false start. I mean, we got to really lock down that position group. A guy that I had such high praise for coming into the season, Cedric Van Pran, the center, in an and goal situation last night, he had a false start. Now, I want you guys to think about it. It's not easy to commit a false start violation as the center.
No, yeah, you decide when
You
the
know
ball
better.
snaps.
You decide when the ball snaps. It's in your brain. I don't care what the coach. I don't have to care the crowd noise. You literally are the person controlling the nerve synapses that move the arm to start the play. Like it's
Maybe he just like
Did he
sneezed
jump
or
and then
something.
snap?
yeah, that's what he did. He like jumped forward and then snapped it. It's not easy. Yeah.
Sorry, coach. Thought I threw the ball already.
Whoopsie doodle. Got ahead of myself. But and I'm not saying Cedric was the one to blame. But because overall I thought he played a really good game. But seeing him do that in such a crucial situation really brought it home with because I think he's our best offensive lineman. And
Right.
if he's doing mistakes, if he's committing mistakes like that, then we got to get something ironed out on that O-line.
I think it sets up just a bad look for next week for Auburn. Like, I feel like Georgia's gonna come out there and just want to beat them, like beat the heck out of them. Like,
You'd hope, but that's what I thought
yeah.
they were going to do in Missouri too.
yeah, no, I mean you're right. I don't know, but the difference is like what you said earlier when you're talking about this is not stuff that Ohio State's the world do. It's also not stuff the Mark Richt led Georgia teams would have done. So like the fact that we did win, that was a big testament to Kirby Smart.
Yeah,
and a testament to
losing
his
that
direction. So I feel like I don't know. I feel like the Auburn game could be an easy get right game.
I think so.
Something else, though, you're talking about offensive line, like prime time. We were talking about last week as a Georgia Tech, talking about him coaching there. He was talking about the difference between smaller schools and the big schools. There's the big guys up front. It's the O-line, D-line. Like that's he said skilled players are a dime a dozen. Like you can have just talented skilled players at these smaller schools, but it's the big guys up front that make the difference.
And it was because a reporter had asked him what he thought of playing Alabama if they were to schedule a game with Alabama, and he was like, "Not right now. I'm not going to do that to my kids because of what you just said." He was like,
we're not going to.
Skill position players are fine, but when it comes to the main difference between
he's talking about that like 50 pounds
or
something like that.
Is the big boys up front.
Significant difference.
Offensive linemen, good offensive linemen, don't go to small schools.
Yeah.
It's just kind of how it is. So
a couple of other skill players that I wanted to bring up. As Ladd continued to struggle a little bit, there's a couple of receivers that stepped up. Dominic Blaylock made a couple of really good
see him
catches.
back.
And what's his name? Rosemary
Jack Saint.
Rosemary, Rose.
Tactherian Taccheratrix.
Both of those guys like kind of stepped up with
did.
Ladd struggling, so maybe we'll see more of them moving forward, more sure-handedness. And then Darnell Washington, of course.
Gosh.
Honestly, you just feel good whenever the ball's going in his direction.
I really do.
Yeah,
it feels like a Snuggie or something. Like,
he's awesome.
Snuggie.
Yeah.
He's incredible. It kills me that we're
Snuggie.
not getting more touchdowns scored because Stetson's actually having good games, like output wise. Like we can get our own way when it comes to scoring.
Yeah,
I'm curious if he, like, for a veteran quarterback. I guess he's not necessarily a veteran quarterback on the D1 level. He's had 1 year of experience, but like I think he has issues identifying the defense maybe a little bit and like making adjustments for blocking, especially for the run game. But maybe that's one thing that we're not seeing is him making adjustments for the guys. I don't know. Just a thought.
One thing that I'm looking at his stat line. So percentage-wise, he did not have a good day. He was 24 for 43, but he threw for 312 yards. I mean, that's just one thing I'm really enjoying about where we're at on offense.
Is that a bad game?
Currently.
You can still throw for 300 yards.
Yes,
that's
but
cool though. That's a bad game.
Yeah, but what I really meant there was more along the lines of our leading to compare that. Our leading rusher had 65 yards.
Yeah, it's not like the Nick Chubbs.
It's not UGA.
Yeah.
Of our entire lifetimes, it's not the UGA ever. Actually, I don't think this is anything Georgia's ever done, really. Even back when we had David Green and Aaron Murray, this wasn't us.
I think it gives you greater flexibility.
It does.
So, like, that's why I prefer a strong pass game to a strong running game, is because if you're down late and you are leaning on your run game, then you're kind of just out of luck. If you have a strong passing game, you can come back and make things happen.
There's also ways to like replicate the run through passing, like just small screen stuff like that.
Yep.
By the way, I'm on that I'm on the ESPN box score for the game, and y'all have been on there before. Obviously, it'll play like replays of the game while you're in there automatically, and it just showed the Kendall Milton fumble, and I forgot how long it was, like a 30-yard run.
Yeah,
that he fumbled at the end of. That's just
it sucks.
Was it the first drive? It was early.
It might have been the first drive. Yeah, it's 0-0.
Didn't Ladd have a big drop early too?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Yeah, he did.
So
yeah,
I'm curious. I'm curious, and something I'll look out for at the beginning of the Auburn game if Kenny McIntosh is out there the first drive as opposed to Milton, because we may see
But Kenny was out there early in the first game, right? Like, haven't they kind of rotated?
Well, it just depends on the formation. I think they're 1A, 1B, but I think to Hayden's point, it looks like Kenny's going to be the
more
1A,
one. Yeah.
Then or just 1 and 2, like you said.
Yeah. Well, maybe they'd use all three though. I feel like the third running back was right there carry wise too.
So good news real quick. Also, Braves got runners on second and third with 1 out. So
nice.
See what we can do here.
Got to stay within the distance here. We can make up the gap late.
Absolutely.
So what do y'all think happens next week with the Dawgs?
I think it'll be a get right game, like you said, because and also I want to point out just real quick. I also want to point out that this goes back towards, you remember after the Oregon game and after South Carolina, Kirby was so critical of the defense, and we laughed about it. We laughed it off as just like, man, I love Kirby Smart about how he's just so focused on the end goal, and he's just like Nick Saban, and all that is true, but not in the way we thought back then. He was right. Kirby saw things in the Oregon game and the South Carolina game.
Like, people will expose this.
That he's like, I'm seeing it, so I know the other teams are seeing it, and that's exactly what's happened. They have seen whatever it was, weaknesses here and there, and look, the SEC is good. The SEC, I think one thing that doesn't get talked about enough with how good we are as a conference is how deep, but it's deep in coaching.
Oh yeah.
Some of the best coaching staffs in the entire nation. So Missouri obviously found something. Kent State found something to exploit, and we gotta iron that out.
You see great coaches come to the SEC and struggle. Like, that's how good the SEC is coach wise. And I think something else to point out too is that I don't think it is time to worry about the Dawgs.
No,
if you look at the game, you look at the box score, like, we're still moving the ball. We're still having like successful plays offensively. We're just not finishing. So if you just start to finish a couple of those drives, you're talking about 14, 21 more points a game.
Yeah.
So, and that makes that game out of,
and then it's not close.
Reach. Yeah, exactly. So I don't think it's something that we should be worried about yet, but it is something like the team knows, like, we got to do better. They know they have to do better.
Absolutely. Oh boy. Sorry.
Just foul.
Yeah, Michael Harris
almost 3-run shot.
Yeah, my goodness. All right, so that for me kind of wraps up the Dawgs, unless you guys got something.
Well, I was gonna say, before we wrap up the show, I wanted to talk about just a little bit about the Hawks. The Hawks. So this week, so we're going to do a team preview and season preview the week before the NBA season starts, so 2 weeks from now. But we did want to just talk about the Hawks briefly today. The Hawks did make the last move, I think, trade-wise before the season. We traded Mo Harkless, who we got in the Kevin Huerter trade. We did this to get below the salary tax or the luxury tax. So we could still get above it during the season if we make a trade for a certain player, but right now we are below. So that's a good thing for the owner's pocket. And it also means that Jalen Johnson will be the primary backup behind John Collins, which is huge. Like, that means it shows that the team has faith in him to play. I think I think he's exciting. I think he's a good player. I mean, his defense might have something to work on, but like, I was worried
based off the draft capital you put into him.
Yeah. And I was worried that Mo Harkless was going to mean that he actually wasn't going to play that much, because Mo Harkless is a savvy bet, pretty good defender, shooter. Yes. But we traded him, which means Jalen Johnson is the primary number 2 behind John Collins. So that's super exciting. So
yes, absolutely.
I really like that. And they also had the open practice recently, and Jared Culver.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Austin Riley just got beans, so the bases are loaded.
Heyo.
Yeah.
Last thing, Hawks are in Abu Dhabi But for the preseason, they're going to be playing the Bucks there twice. This is a great team bonding experience for the teams. They'll be out there for 10 days. I'm hoping it brings the team together right before the season. And I think, God, I really do think that we'll talk about it right before the season starts, though. But I think the Hawks are a team that I would bet the over on this year for wins wise, like where the Vegas odds are. Like, I don't know.
What are
man.
the odds, though?
So 47.5 games. I think.
Yeah,
Or it might be a little lower than that, but I think we can win 50 games.
I think we're a 50-win team for sure.
And I think we might surprise some teams. Like a lot of people are putting us like between 5 and 7 right now to finish the season, which I think is fair for how loaded the East is. But I think we'll surprise some teams that finish ranked 3rd. And we'll talk about that 2 weeks from now. Why?
Also, could you guys imagine how fun that's going to be? Could you imagine being a young NBA player in a preseason tournament in Abu Dhabi?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're playing against the Bucks too, who are like a great team. Like, it's gonna be fun. Yeah.
Well, I'm not really. If I'm one of them, I'm not really concentrating on the game. Let's just say that. I'm gonna be enjoying the time with the teammates out on the town as an NBA player.
Very cool. Yeah. No, for sure. 100% agree.
But anyway.
But yeah, so that's the Hawks. That's us. I won't be here next week, guys. So
selfish.
Yeah, he's got something going on. I don't know what.
Yeah, how dare I?
How dare you?
If things go wrong, I guess I will be here. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh wow. Guys, I got cold feet. I'm actually gonna be on the pod tonight.
She'll be listening to this, so she'll
be an electric episode.
Yeah.
Absolutely it would. All right, let's see. Oh boy.
As a ball, should we stay on the pod until this bat's over, guys?
Yeah, let's wait for this at bat to expire. But
all right,
we can
2-0 count. You want to narrate
also
it?
In between pitches? Oh well, I could, but I do want to say thanks to our boy Oh No and the ladies of the loves of our lives who help us out. And dang, I really thought the pitch would come.
Yeah, thank you, listeners.
Baseball is much slower than you think.
It takes forever. I'd like to thank my mom, my dad.
Yeah. Goodness gracious.
Middle school coach. Hi. Yeah. Is that a 3-0 count?
That's a 3-0 count, baby.
Oh my word!
Just for the folks at home who will be listening to this after the game's over. So.
Yes.
This is the bottom of the 3rd.
Yeah, it's the bottom of the 3rd. Yeah, Matt Olson's up to bat. Bases loaded.
Dude, what if he hits a bomb right here?
My gosh, Daddy, I might go crazy.
I'd like to see a one take here on a 3-0 count. Yeah, but that's me.
Yeah, you never swing at 3-0.
Stadium standing.
There it is.
He took it just like he asked him to.
You never swing at 3-0, but then, God, it's so tempting. It feels
but
like.
But it should have swung at 3-0, maybe.
Well,
because there's
they got to throw it to him,
right?
Yeah, exactly. You still got to throw it.
See, I feel like you should swing at 3-0.
It depends, but see, if you like ground out to 3rd.
Oh, I see.
It really feels bad. There it is.
Outside, walked in a run. There we go,
folks.
Hey. That's the electric content you come to Blursed.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Walking in a run.
Walking in a run. Everyone have a great week. Thank you, guys. We'll see you later.